So Greg, the first step for me is a customer will get the package, and when you arrive on the scene, I mean, I think there's always kind of like a little checklist of what did you expect. Let's say a customer says, I want a demo. We have two choices: send them the demo unit without us, or we're there.
Sure.
So I always like before the demo to say, okay, this is what you need to supply versus what we're going to supply, so that if we're there, we're not wasting a lot of time. If you send it to him and he doesn't do that, well, that's his problem. He's wasted the time of the clock of the loan.
Sure.
But for us, when we're standing there, I don't want to be wasting time. So do we have a little checklist of things that you send in the mail to them?
Sure. The things that you need to have or get to be able to use a pole cam is some kind of tripod.
Okay.
Okay. In this case, we just happen to have a pedestal or a bazooka, but it really is any tripod will work. The critical thing is you want a video head tripod.
Right.
Okay. So any tripod with a fluid head. You don't want a sort of a mechanical photo head that will sit and lock. You want to be able to do that. You will need a camera, and in this case, obviously, you know, it can be any kind of camera that you want, but we have a little dummy DSLR, but the idea is you need your camera system. Besides that, you absolutely will need some counterweights. Pull those out, and these are standard dumbbell weights. So standard dumbbell weights, ideally with the smaller hole. There's a 1 inch and a 2 inch, so you want these, but you can get adapters if you've got the big ones. And you want roughly, you know, 60 pounds of weight in 10-pound increments or some 5s, depending on which camera you're using. And that's one of those things that the larger the camera, you're probably going to want more weight. And you're going to need either a battery system if you're planning to use the rig outside where there's no electricity. But those are basically the three main components that you need besides, you know, the rig itself.
Okay.
There's a few other recommended things, such as the monitor. Not absolutely necessary because some cameras will have, you know, some means of, you know, watching the image on the camera or possibly down the line. We recommend a monitor for the rig, but that's not absolutely necessary.
Which brand do you use for that monitor?
You know, this happens to be an iCam, but we don't really have a preference. We recommend the best one you can afford. So you have TD Logic, you have Panasonic, you have Marshall, you have iCam, and a bunch of other little, you know, companies that make these. The critical thing for us is these happen to have both HDMI and HD-SDI input, and that's what we like. It also takes a 4-pin 12-volt power, which is also useful because that will plug directly into our rig, and you don't have to put a battery on it. But again, the most important thing to keep in mind about the pole cam is that it is a system, and it is customizable and configurable. So besides, that's why there's no, you know, specific tripod. It can be a Miller, it can be a Cartoni, it can be a Sackler. As long as it's a video tripod, it doesn't really matter which one. Same thing with the monitor. It can be any monitor. Same thing with the camera. It can be virtually any camera as long as, you know, you have size and weight limits, of course.
Now, the fluid head, if I understand, you only need one rated at 10 pounds, not like a 100-pound fluid head?
No, we recommend about 25 pound and up. Now, the bigger and bulkier it is, the better it is because the smoother the movement will be. The thing that you have to understand about video heads is they're rated to keep a camera from tipping over. So when they rate a video head at 25 pounds, that means you can put a 25-pound camera on here and it'll tip completely over, but it won't fall, okay? Whereas if you put a 10-pound head on there, it'll pull the whole thing over, essentially. So, but the pole cam is counterbalanced. There's weight at one end, weight at the other end, so you're never going to run into that situation. But, you know, you want something bulkier.
But you still have the weight of the camera and...
You do, and that's why we recommend 25 pounds and up. Right. You know, even though the whole system will generally weigh 40 pounds or more, you know, and the bulkier, the beefier the tripod head, the better. But you can get away with something that's a little lighter, like this. This is, I think, a 25-pound head, and it's perfectly fine. Yes?
So, how many pounds all the ball cam system?
Well, you see, it's difficult to say because it's configurable from 4 feet to 8 feet to 12 to 16 to 20 to 24 to 28. So depending on how you rig it up with which camera, it varies. It can be as little as 20 pounds.
What do you have there on the floor? Can you show me that? Is that like a bag, like a case?
Yes, I don't know if you can see it. Let me move this out of the way. It might be easier for you to see.
Okay.
Can you see that now?
How many pounds, how many feet is that one? 4, 6, 8?
This is the standard kit. It comes with all the gear that you need down here, and I'll try to lift it up so you can see it.
I can see it perfectly. It's
Okay.
You don't have to move it. I'm looking at it.
So each individual section is about 3.5 feet. So I have 6 sections, but you can build it with 1 section, 2, or as many as you want, up to 7. So there's no standard configuration.
So this one is about 20 feet?
This one's, well, it could be up to 24. What happens is in a standard kit, when you buy it, you get 3 of these poles. So you can go up to 12 feet in a standard kit and then expand from there.
Okay.
Okay? So, just to give you a bit of an overview of what comes in the kit, some people keep their cameras in here. We generally recommend that you have a different case for your camera, obviously, with all your camera gear. But, just to give you a little overview, this is the head of the pole cam, which is kind of the heart of the pole cam system. What you have here is this is the long head. This is our biggest head, which allows you to put cameras like a DSLR or something like a C300 or an AF101, all kinds of different size cameras.
When you say it long because of the width, is that what, or the height? Okay.
The height. I don't have any other ones I could show you, unfortunately, but we have one that is shorter, which is what we call the wide head, and then we have one that is narrower.
A little narrow for the little
narrower for
lipstick
smaller
camera.
cameras.
Right.
So this is what's called our long head, and this is again, this is the biggest head that we make currently. And I'll show you, once we get to it. But basically, obviously, this is the way it hangs from the pole. It turns here and it turns here to be able to control the camera. And I'll show you how it's connected. So let me put this away for now. Oops.
And this 20 feet, what's the weight on that case?
This case, as you see it here, the heaviest part is actually the Pelican case itself. It's about 60 pounds for everything, of which almost 40 is the Pelican. It's about 30 something, because it's a lot of plastic. This is when you buy if you buy it without the Pelican case, because again we don't make the Pelican case. What you get is you get this foam piece. Okay, that comes in a cardboard box, and that fits, as you just saw, directly into a Pelican case. And then these pieces are in the top of the cardboard box. Okay, so. To continue with the rest of what's in here, this is what we call a rigging stand. Whoops. That's interesting. Rigging stand that just fell apart.
That's an unrigging stand.
It's just the handles that came off somehow. Anyway, it's not a big deal. But this is a rigging stand which we use to set it up. Basically, it supports the head, and you'll see that once I start putting it together. This thing is, because again, you have the part that sits on the tripod, and then you have the long pole. You want to be able to support the long pole. So we put that in here as well. We also have a little accessory wallet which we put in. It has a cable feeder, the way that you hold the camera to the head itself. There's a little support bracket if you wanted to wear the unit in a harness, which I can talk about. And then it has, a little a tripod screw and a little adjuster, a little tweaker if you needed to adjust any settings on any of your gear. Then it comes with, what do they call it, an AC adapter, and this has it has 3 4-pin XLRs, and these are standard, okay? But this will allow you to power the rig from AC. This has a standard IEC lead, which is down here under there. I'll pull that out in a second. But so if you wanted to power the system from AC, you can certainly do that with that. And then here you have, well, actually, let me show you the joystick first. So this is the joystick, okay? That's the joystick. You've got, whatever, pan tilt control here. And down here you'll see you've actually got control for switching the pan and tilt. So in other words, if you want pan to go left when you push this left, you can do that. Or if you change the pan, then you can push left and it'll actually pan right. Basically like a helicopter versus a plane, depending on how you fly. And once you experience it, you'll see exactly what that does.
Hanging from your shoes or you're standing up.
Exactly, exactly. And this is what we call the monitor mount, which you'll see again in action. What this goes is it's designed to fit around the pole perfectly in here, and this is how we mount monitors. And we'll often use this to mount accessory, you know, zoom controls. Some people actually use two of these to put two monitors, for instance, a monitor from the camera and then a feedback from, you know, a live broadcast situation. And you'll notice that one thing that's nice about the case is there's lots of little holes and other stuff to put in little accessories. So you can move the wallet to here, and you can put stuff in here. The monitor doesn't come with the kit, but there's certainly space to put the monitor in it, okay?
I want to ask you to stop for 1 second.
Sure.